Hey everyone, welcome to Amberg Acres. So we've got some beautiful weather going on right now. It's a little cold. I don't have the heater on or nothing in here today. I got the door open. I want to say it's about 40 out there. So according to my thermometer over here, it's just under 40 degrees right now in the garage here. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is, some of the stuff I'm doing while I'm retired now, and what do I do when the weather gets cold and I'm sitting here in the garage with nothing to do, because I can't really work outside in the cold. Now today I could be, but it's all mud, it's all muck everywhere out there. So I'm electing not to drive the tractor around and rip the lawn up any more than it is already. So what I came up with to do is I picked up one of these cheap little lasers. This is the Atom Stack A5 Pro. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right or got that title right. So this is a 5-watt laser, and I'm just starting to make little projects. Okay, some of the first projects I did a couple years back. I bought a cribbage board. When we got our first camper, I bought a cribbage board that had our logo on it, Amberg Acres. And the guy did it with a CNC machine, and it turned out beautiful. I really like it. And we take it when we go camping. So I thought the first thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and make some cribbage boards. So here's my first couple attempts at cribbage boards. So as you know, every year we have a Flum reunion up here in the Amberg area, and this is my project for this year. I made 2 different ones. They're kind of the same. This is the same, but I changed the lettering and stuff so they look a little different. So I made two of them, and this is what I'm going to put up for the auction. They have an auction every year to make money for the next year's party, for the next year's reunion. So this is what I'm going to put up this year for the auction. They turned out really nice. What I did was I burned the holes only just a little bit into the wood, and then I took a drill bit and I went and drilled all these holes, which gets monotonous. So in the future, if I make more of these, I'm gonna come up with a different way of doing that probably. But for right now, the problem with doing it on the laser is it takes too long to burn that hole down deep enough. So you'd have to do 4 or 5 passes. And it would work. I mean, it would work, but it probably takes an hour and something to do this pattern here, one pass. So if you did multiple passes, you'd be at 4 or 5 hours to make the board, which is kind of ridiculous, But anyhow, this wood came out of the old farmhouse. This is live edge lumber that was in the walls of the old farmhouse, and that's what I'm making these out of. I made several different ones here. So I have this one here. Then I made one with an image on it. And then I made one for Pablo. Okay, Pablo has a Escapade, and that's his Escapade right there. That's a picture of his Escapade. And it turned out, it turned out really good. So it's taken me a while to get this down pat. And one of the issues that I've been having is the thing stops right in the middle of a cycle. If it's more than 20 minutes or so, my computer shuts down for some reason. So I found that if I sit here and every 10 minutes or so come wave the mouse, it won't shut down. Now I went in and changed all the settings to never shut down, even when it's on battery, and I have it plugged in, so that shouldn't be an issue. But I have everything on never, so I don't know what's causing it to shut down like that. And the message that comes up is it says something about you have how does that say that? Something a problem has occurred or something like that is worded, and your computer needs to restart. And then it goes and it restarts the computer. and it stops, of course, it stops the laser from what it's doing. These files are pretty big. When you're doing an image file, that's a pretty big file, so it can't, I don't believe it can hold it in any memory on the laser itself, so it's all coming off your computer. You're running it directly from your computer. So that's one of the issues I've been having. This one here took me, I don't know, two or three tries to get this one to run all the way through and turn out with a nice image like that. And I'm getting it. You know, I'm writing down my settings and stuff, but every board is different. This is real light, whatever this is. I believe it's cedar. And the other one I did, one of the Flum Reunion ones, was oak. You know, you could tell it was oak, real heavy and hard, you know. So it's going to burn differently. And that's, so the settings, you can write down all the settings you want. It's not going to be the same from board to board. But anyway, that's what I'm doing for in the winter here while I'm in the garage. And let me show you this one I got going right now. So this here is an image of our Schnauzer that we used to have. His name was Gizmo. Real cute dog and everything. He had one ear that kind of stood up and the other one flopped over. And that's a very, very nice image of him. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a jigsaw puzzle. So I got the pattern off online somewhere for the jigsaw shapes. And then I just impose my image over the top. So now when you come over here and you look at it, I mean, it's turning out pretty good right now. Now this is taking, it was almost 3 hours total. So we're just at 2 hours now. And it hasn't stopped yet because I'm sitting here waving the mouse. But this should be done in about an hour. And then I have to cut the lines through it and then cut the outer shape on it yet. But it turns out pretty good. You're never going to get rid of the wood grain. You can see over here, you can see the wood grain a little bit, and right in the middle there. You're never going to get rid of that. So there are certain woods that are better than others. This is, I believe this is Baltic birch or something they call it. There's basswood. They make these little panels like this here, you know. Basswood plywood, it's called, and Baltic birch plywood. And that stuff, it seems to engrave and turn out very nice on. If you do the regular wood, you know, like this wood here, you get one of these hard grains in here, and it doesn't. You can see her whole shoulder is missing there, kind of, because it's hard. That doesn't burn into there as good. So that's the issue with the woods. But this is going to turn out really nice as long as I can get through this image here and get it the color I want, the darkness. And it's always going to be in black and white. It's not going to be a color image. And there are ways that guys are doing that on canvas. They spray paint these canvas, you know, these little square canvas things, you know, that you can pick up at the dollar store. They spray paint it with different colors, and then they laser on their image, and the image comes out with, you know, like a green or a blue or whatever that they put behind it, you know. They look pretty neat, but I haven't gotten that far to try anything like that. I'm trying to get through an image like this here without my computer shutting down. And until I get that figured out, you know, and at some point, you know, maybe I need to buy a different computer, because I did a Lenovo. This is a Lenovo computer. I tried doing a firmware update. I went and updated the USB ports and some of the other what are they called, drivers and stuff for Windows and everything. And so far last night I was putzing on the computer, shut down twice when I was trying to download some software. So I didn't fix the problem, and I know that the problem has something to do with me keeping it active. Okay, there are settings in there for your active time period during the day that the computer should never shut down during, you know, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I changed those settings in there. So right now, today, this is the first thing I burned. So we'll see if it shuts down. And if it doesn't, then I know that I fixed the problem, and we'll be fine for the future stuff. But right now, it's, as far as I know, it's still an issue. So I'm sitting out here waving this mouse because I don't want this image to stop in the middle. Because if it stops, then you burn over it a second time at the same settings, it's going to get really dark. You know, these dark areas are going to burn deeper. and then it doesn't look right. We'll let this run for a while. I'll show you it when it's done, and I'll show you some of the other stuff I've made too in a little bit here. So I'll get back to you. So this has just a few minutes left. Now I don't know if this will show up on the camera, but it did great all the way up to about, oh, I don't know, just above his nose there, there's one. And then up through his ears there, there's a line that goes through there. And I ain't really sure what causes that. It's like a skip or something. It's not on the drawing. You can zoom in on the drawing, it's not there. So it's got to be something in the laser, or a piece of dirt got in there or something and caused that line to be in there. Not really sure what does it, but that turned out great. That looks just like our gizmo. This image came off of Bing, Microsoft Bing. It's like an AI created image, and you go on Microsoft Bing and you just type in Schnauzer, and that image will come up, or an image similar to that. There were several of them on there, and that's where that image came from. But I think it turned out great. I think it looks just like Gizmo. So now once we cut the lines in here for a puzzle, we'll see how hard that is to tell and put the stuff together. I think this one isn't going to be too bad. I have another one that I think is going to be much harder to do, or not to make so much, but it would be harder to put the puzzle together because the shape isn't there. The background and whatever doesn't, is different. So we'll see. We'll see when I get that far. But this is almost done. It's just got about a 1/4 inch to go there. So I'll show you what it looks like after I get the lines cut. See if I can give you a better close-up. You can see it right here. Up at the top, it got worse. And I don't know what's causing that. And it could be dirt. Like I say, it could be dirt on the lens or whatever. But it progressively got worse as it got up here towards the top. But I think that turned out beautiful. That's a really nice picture of him. All right, so I'm going to start the lines now. We'll do the horizontal lines first. Now this is going to move really slow because it takes a little bit to cut through that plywood. It is, I believe this is the 1/8 inch thick plywood, and I cut some the other day. I cut out this pattern here. These are clamps. If you're wondering what these are, you stick them in your holes here. You can see it right here, and to clamp down a piece of wood. So it did this whole side fine, and then it got over to this side, and for some reason it didn't cut all the way through. So I added an extra pass now from the settings I had on this one. I added an extra pass, so it should cut through this time. My speeds for this cut are at 10 inches a minute and 100% power. So I could slow it down to 5, and that would help it cut more, or it might cut deeper on each pass. But this works. This will work. I know this will cut. 5 passes seems excessive, but it'll work. So I ran CNC machines for a living, as some of you know. This does not operate quite like a normal CNC. One of my biggest issues is there is no home on this thing. The zero is just a point that I pick on the corner of a piece of plywood, and if something happens while you're doing this burn, you can't go back and redo it. It's done. You throw that piece away and you have to start another piece and hope it doesn't happen again. So that's one of the issues I have with it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to come up with some stuff. That's what these clamps were all about here. These clamps are going to help. I'm going to try and make a a little frame on this grid here that I have, so that every time I set the piece of plywood in there, I'm setting it in the same spot. And hopefully, as long as I know what that number is to that spot, I can move the laser to that position, call it 0, and hopefully that'll help with some of this, that I can rerun it. It's a little bit of a learning curve here with these lasers. It's not, you know, like I say, I ran CNCs most of my life, and this does not operate quite like a regular CNC does. But it's the same concept. It really is. It's when you draw your image, you give it a 0 point. So my 0 point is this bottom corner over here. I mean, the idea is, how do you pick up that corner? You don't have a, you know, on a regular CNC, you had an edge finder or something to find the edge of that block of steel. On here, you don't have anything like that, so it's a little different. So that one there, I can tell that's cut through already at four passes. But I'll leave it on 5 just so it cuts the rest of them all the way through. The wood is kind of wavy. It's not flat. And if I put a clamp right on the edge here, this is going to hit it, you know. So you can't put the clamp right there. What I'm thinking about doing is making some tabs out of thinner material like this here. Make some little squares where I put the clamp out here further, and then the edge of the square just goes up there. And that would be, as long as it's less than my 2mm focus length there, I think that would work. Then it wouldn't hit it. All right, this is gonna run for a while. All right, it's all done. Hopefully, feels like most of them are cut through. Give you a closer look at that. Turned out really good. All right, I'm gonna break these up, and I will show you some of my other projects in a little while. So today I'm cutting out a couple of little projects. This particular project is a shield for my camera that goes in my truck. The issue I'm having is the sunlight. When you're out driving, the sunlight is reflecting off of that screen, and you can't see what's behind you on that backup camera. So I'm making a shield for it out of this plywood, and it's turning out pretty good now today. Yesterday I was trying to make some refrigerator magnets for the grandkids' pictures, and I really was having issues cutting this wood. This is like 1/8 inch thick plywood, and I was really having issues, and I finally figured it out. I finally got the right settings, and that's the key, is getting the right settings. How many passes? So right now I'm doing 6 passes around this square to get through that plywood. And then it's still, when you look at the back side, it's kind of weird because it burns through in some spots and then other spots it don't. And I ain't quite sure why that's doing that. So basically today is I slowed it down. I left my power percentage the same, but I slowed it down, and it seems to be cutting really good today. So I don't know why it's different. And this here is a different piece of plywood, so it could be the wood, you know. That's one of the issues I'm seeing. I think it could be the wood. I have some thinner stuff, 16th inch thick, and it doesn't look to me like it's plywood. Let me see if I have a piece of that somewhere here. I don't think it's plywood. I think it's actually actually 16-inch thick veneer material. And this stuff burned really nice, but it's really flimsy stuff. It's really, you know, there's no strength to it at all. So I think, to me, it looks like it's a veneer. It's not an actual plywood. But I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong before. So the other thing I made was a box for my clamps. Throw all my clamps and stuff in it. Turned out pretty nice. So this was my test before I started this one. This was my test, was to make this this box. Now this one here is screwed up. I forgot to mirror this side here. See, the other side doesn't have nothing on it. So that's supposed to be on the inside where you don't see it. And I forgot to mirror one of the images. But yeah, it turns out good. It's got a flip up lid here. You know, flip up lid. So that's what we're working on today. Once this is done, I'll get this stuff glued together and I'll show you how what it's for, basically. This will get painted black. That I'll just leave the way it is because it's just for my junk. These are the clamps I made. They're little tiny T clamps that go in your table here. They work, but the problem is, if this head gets too close to the edge, they hit. So they really don't work that great. So what I was doing was putting a piece of material out right on the edge, you know, and then holding that piece down. And I think that's what I'll do is I'll make some different pieces that have like a step in them maybe, and then the step will be thin enough that it won't hit the head, and then I can hold down the corners at least, because this stuff moves really easy. It's one little bump and it's off, you know. So I gotta figure out a way to clamp it. My intentions are to make a box for this. I have a blower here. So that blower will suck out the smoke, because this smokes a lot and you shouldn't be breathing in that smoke. So it'll suck out that smoke, and at some point when I get my shop done, I will have a little vent out the wall or something for that smoke to go out the wall. But we're getting it. It's trial and error. We'll have it figured out pretty soon. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I'll let you know. I'll get this stuff put together and I'll let you know what's coming next. All right, so today we're trying to do these name magnets again. So now this one here is cutting fine. It was already broken through at 5 passes, but I had it set for 6, so it cut an extra pass after it had fallen through. But the other day, remember I showed you the other day, this was 8 passes and it never went through. So I changed the settings a little bit here, and it seems to be working good. So let's see how long this takes to finish here. Okay, well, that looks like it cut through pretty good. So let me pop those out of there quick. There you go. Turned out pretty nice. Now that's the thicker wood. That's the 1/8 inch thick. So it's cutting good now. So I'm gonna save those settings. You know, you get a little burn there, but you gotta sand that a little bit and put some stain on it. You can see the back has a little bit of discoloring on the back side too. Okay, we're gonna make a couple different ones of these. Okay, so those turned out pretty good. Made out of the thicker material. You see there I had a little bit of a burnout. I kind of know why that happened. I was too close to the edge and it lifted up. But that's the problem you have if you don't have, you can't clamp it. There's no place to clamp it. So it turned out okay. A little sanding, they'll be okay. They'll be just fine. All right, so we're gonna try something else here once. All right, so the next thing we're gonna make is a fancy box. This is another box, kind of like the one I did the other day, but this is gonna put a design on all the sides, and it's just a fancy box for somebody to put, you know, jewelry or whatever in. So we're gonna try this, and the only reason I'm doing these projects is these are free projects that you can get off the internet, and this helps me get my settings down. And once I got my settings down, then I can start doing a little more designing myself maybe, or whatever, to make what I want. So this is going to be the next one. This does a little engraving on the top and the sides, and otherwise it's very similar to the box I made the other day. Okay, so I just spent the last 10 minutes or so trying to figure out the problem with the pattern that guy sent me. One thing I noticed is they come in and they got extra lines and stuff, and that really screws up the laser. Thinks it can't cut the stuff. So I spent how long trying to figure out about 10 minutes trying to figure out what lines were missing. So we'll get it. It'll turn out. But right now it looks like it's doing the wrong thing. So I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna restart it. Now, right off the bat here, I had it on line instead of fill, so it wasn't burning the shape. But now it's like it's not. I don't have the power high enough, so it's not burning anything. So we're gonna stop it again and try again. It's just a very finicky little machine. If you don't have the settings just right, it just doesn't turn out, you know. Now I can see that it's burning something, but it's very, very light. So I think I'm going to stop it and adjust it just a little bit more. And now it's burning. So there's 3 different settings, and the first setting is your power, which is 0 to 100%. The second setting is your speed, which is the speed that the laser is traveling at. Okay, and then your third setting is your DPI, which is dots per inch. So you turn the dots per inch down, say to 125, and then the thing runs much faster. Okay, now you see there it kind of burned it. So now I actually got it too high. So I'm going to stop it again and adjust it. So the way I had it set there, that almost burned halfway through that board, which I don't want. I just want to etch the top and make it dark, like your wood burning. It's just supposed to be a pattern, a dark pattern on top, not a hole, you know. So it's like I say, it's really finicky. It takes a little bit to get these settings, and then once I got the settings, then this pattern will be fine. I'll save it, and it'll be. Next time I burn it, it'll burn just fine. But all right, we're gonna just let that run for a little bit and see what we end up with. So you can see it's turning out much better now. Got the settings dialed in. So I do a crisscross pattern on these images like this here. So right now it's doing the horizontal pass on that circle, and then it'll come back and it'll do a vertical pass, and that fills in. You can kind of see some white lines there yet. It'll fill those in when it does the vertical pass, and it'll be more like this here where it's a solid brown then. So it's been working pretty good. It's just you got to get your settings right that you're not burning halfway through the board. And then it works pretty good. So now you see it's doing the vertical pass on that circle, and it's filling in. So now it's solid brown. That's actually in there a little bit. I bet you that's a 30-second deep into the wood. That cut that. So, but that looks nice. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay guys, so this is what it's gonna look like. It's just got the fancy, you know, decoration on it, and it's gonna be a box. The other two sides are the side and the front. No, it's actually the side, the back, and the bottom are cutting right now. So that's what it's gonna be, just a little fancy box. So I think that's gonna be it for now. I think I mentioned before I want to make a vacuum table for it and stuff, and get rid of the smoke. You probably can't see it, but there's quite a bit of smoke that comes off of this thing. So the vacuum table would suck the smoke down and get it out of the room, you know. So that's gonna be it. I am not gonna do tutorials on running a laser. I just wanted to show you guys this, to show you what I'm doing during the winter here. It's actually a nice day today. I got the door open and stuff that helps with the smoke and whatever. But yeah, I ain't gonna do no tutorials on lasers or nothing. I'm not gonna bore you with that. I don't know enough about them to do a tutorial. So I'd be telling you the wrong thing probably. But I will probably show you some projects here and there if I come up with something. This is one of the things I want to do with some of those slabs I've been cutting. Once they dry out, you know, I have one here. Hang on a second. I have one here that I cut out of a piece. This is really green yet, you know, so I have it in here. I'm thinking having the heat blowing on it might dry it out a little quicker than just sitting outside. But this is going to be another cribbage board. This will be a circle, not an oval. So it'll be a nice circle on there with some kind of an image in the middle. And that's what I want to do with some of these slabs and stuff that I cut off of them trees while I was making that lumber. And I'll share them with you when I get them done. I'll show you them, you know, just as a little update on what I'm making. But this takes so long to dry out. This will be, I don't know, maybe the end of summer I might be able to burn something on here. I tried to do a little image on here and it doesn't burn. It just you can see where it cut into the wood, but it doesn't make it brown, you know, like that. So I'll get back to you. I got another piece here I'll show you. So this piece here, this is a piece of that myrtle wood that I brought back from Oregon. So this is going to be a I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, charcuterie board. There's going to be two handles here, and then you put your cheese and your sausage and crackers and whatever on this and serve it. So all these little spots you see here, that's the bug holes, and you have to fill them if you're going to use it for food. You have to fill them in. So that's like it's almost it's called a CA glue, which is basically super glue, but it's a better product than what you buy in the hardware store. So yeah, I'm filling in all the little wormholes. You can see them up close there. You can see all the little wormholes. So I'm filling them all in. I'm using some sawdust and stuff and getting that all in there, and then I'll sand this off nice, and we'll put a nice finish on it, and it'll be a charcuterie board. I'm putting some kind of design on here, and I'm going to use the laser for that too. So that's what I'm doing for the winter. Okay guys, so I got this all painted up. This is that shield I was working on. We've had some nice weather here, so I got this painted. So basically, this backup camera, and you can go back and watch the video on this, how I installed it. This was last spring when I had my arm in a sling. I put this on the truck in the camper. It came with a little plastic shield here, okay? But this isn't enough. When it's sitting on the dash of your car, it just isn't enough, you know? So I extended it. I made this piece here, and that's gonna go right on there. And Barb's got some double-faced tape in there, and we're just gonna tape it on, okay? And then that extends that way farther, so that when the sun is shining, it's not reflecting off the screen. And I know it's probably gonna look kind of dumb on the dash of my truck, but you know, I don't care. I need it to work. You know, when I look at it, I need to see what's behind me, not the sun shining, you know. So that's what it is. It's finished. Yeah, we finished up all the other stuff. So if you like these videos, you know, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.